the live stream with DG3. My name is Ronak, and as you can see, at this moment, I'm just trying to fit in and trying to curate this live stream for you all, wherein we will be discussing a lot of football, everything, anything, and everything about the FIFA World Cup that is currently ongoing and is soon going to end. Along with me is Naman, my colleague, who is also, as you can see, an avid Argentina and an avid football fan. We have Arunav joining in, also, who is the founder of Root One Football. And guys, if you have not checked out his Instagram page, I think you're missing out on some very, very cool cinematics on football. Uh, Very good. I mean, like that is all I will say. So,
Thank
Arunav,
you.
maybe in the link, like whenever we are done streaming, you can just put in your
Definitely,
link
definitely.
as well,
Yeah.
so that our viewers can see that. Also, we have Ross joining in from Wales, who is also an avid football fan and has been a writer at Just Football back in the day. So, thank you so much, firstly, Ross and Aruna, for taking out the time and to come join us and share your opinions, on the games that we have seen so far. So, to start off, I don't want to keep it like super formal. So, to start off, Aruna, maybe we can start with you. A short, like a short insight on how this year's World Cup has been for you.
This year's World Cup, I personally feel, has been everything apart from the people, everything like people predicted. It has gone against all and every prediction. Like you
Nice.
can see, no one can like would have called this final back before the World Cup started. Like
Correct.
who would have imagined like a 39-year-old Messi carrying this Argentina team to the final?
Correct.
Very,
Correct.
very surprising.
No, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
total sense.
And
I think, yeah.
props to Spain. Yeah, they had their talent. They were the favorite, one of the favorites, I think, and they are like it makes sense they're there.
Nice.
Yeah,
So I see a lot of fandom for both Argentina and Spain in you. So between the two of them, who do you want, to lift this year's FIFA World Cup trophy?
that's a question I'm looking the answer for. Still
Okay.
looking for the answer.
So maybe I'll ask this question again. Once
Yeah,
we are done with the first half of the final. Ross,
yeah.
coming to you. Same question to you as well. What are your thoughts? What do you feel? How is this World Cup going on for you?
I think it's been brilliant. I think particularly I like to, whenever a World Cup comes around, I always like to look at it as if I was a child, what would I think if this was my first World Cup? And I think what's been brilliant about this one is it's been the best players in the world, the biggest names in football are all chasing the golden boot.
Yeah.
So it's been fantastic. But yeah, agree with Aranav as well that I certainly wouldn't have had Spain and Argentina as the final.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Naman, your thoughts? What do you think? Like, we have been watching a lot of games. We have been talking about a lot of games. You have been writing about a lot of games.
Yeah.
So, considering that it was so much, like the volume of content around football was so high, what is the true, gist of how the World Cup has been for you?
I mean, as a Barcelona fan, this World Cup is actually the best World Cup out of all the World Cups because Spain are in the final and so are Argentina. And a funny stat is that in the final there are 9 players from La Masia, 8 are playing from Spain, and one guy is from Argentina. We all know who that guy is.
Yeah.
And also, this World Cup is also a nightmare for Madrid fans. Just putting it out there.
Any Madrid fan in either Aruna or Ross? Do you guys like Madrid?
Not at
I'm a
all.
Liverpool fan.
Oh, you are a Liverpool fan. Makes sense. Makes
Nice.
sense. Okay, that sounds good. So, guys, just taking like kind of generally transcending into what comes next. We have a game lining up ahead of us tonight, which is going to take place in Miami, I believe, and it's between France and England, the two teams that lost their semi-final matches. So, firstly, Ross, maybe you could tell us how big of an upset was England losing in the semi-final, or was it something that you saw coming?
I think it was a surprise to me. Like I say, I'm in Wales, so I'm very close to England, and what I'm fed this World Cup is mainly English media, and I think there was a nervousness around the game, and there was a bit of a recognition of the quality of Argentina. But I think even though they may not admit it now, I think most English supporters expected to win that game. Typically for a World Cup, it's quite common for England to start looking ahead as soon as the tournament starts. Who are we going to play in the final? Can we beat them? And I think they already had one eye on which one of Spain and France are we going to play. So yeah, when it came to it, I think there was big surprise. I think there was big surprise, especially with how the game was going.
Yeah.
Up until the Gordon goal, I think most people there were already making their plans for the final and weren't expecting it all to change.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw there was a video floating around on Instagram where I think there were people in an English pub and they were all like shouting, "Where is Messi? Where is Messi? Where is Messi?" And I think this was around the 75th minute
Yeah.
of the game because England was dominating. I think Aruna, you will also agree. Also because I
Absolutely.
know that you are a Messi fan and an Argentina fan. I think England were kind of dominating in the first 80 minutes of the game, and then something just flipped. Maybe your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, I agree with Ross. Like, I expected England to win that game before the game started. I somehow, well, I accepted the fact that this could be the night Messi plays the last game for Argentina, and I had that in my mind. But as soon as I feel England scored and the second hydration break happened,
Hmm.
after that the momentum switched completely. Like England, I feel dropped too deep, and
Hmm.
like they gave Messi all the room to feed all the crosses, and like you cannot allow that much space to that guy. And I
That makes
think
sense.
there was a stat. I think between 66th and the 86th minute, England I think only had two passes completed out. I don't know the correct minutes, but it was
Hmm.
like 15-20 minutes. England just completed two accurate passes. So that's wild, man.
I also read about something similar. I think they had
Yeah.
in the second half they had only 12% possession, or no, for a
After
team that
Gordon
was
scored.
leading. Yeah, for a team that was
Yeah.
leading, they had only 12% possession, which talks a lot
Crazy.
about how they were playing that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ross, your thoughts on the squad that sort of got selected for England this year? There was a lot of talk about Tuchel dropping Foden and like a couple of other big players, not
Trent was
taking
also
them
not
in.
there. Yeah.
Correct. So
Yeah.
your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I was very surprised when the England squad was released. I was surprised to see Foden and Palmer
Hmm.
miss out. I think when you're playing a tournament, I think it's always important to have players that you can just say every game is going to have different tactics, and tactics are going to shift throughout the game, as England proved. But I think having players that you can look at on the bench, a bit like what Argentina have with Messi, what Spain will have with Yamal. Seems like just having a player where something can come out of nowhere. I mean, Cole Palmer, for example, scored in the last time England were in a final. Yeah, he's not in the tournament. So yeah, really surprised to see that. And I think one thing that's been quite interesting is the reaction around Saka. So obviously Saka at his best at full fitness is one of the best wingers, one of the best wingers in the world. But he's not really featured too much in this tournament. When he hasn't looked fit. So yeah, I think if I was an England fan, I'd be questioning why, if he wasn't fully fit, why didn't we take other players? And again, if you're in a situation where you've got 20 minutes to go to make it to the World Cup final, you've got a player that's just played, that's just seen his team make it to the Champions League final, that's just won the Premier League, and he's not getting on the pitch. So yeah, I think that's where someone like a Foden, someone like a Palmer, I was amazed they weren't in the squad.
Naman, your thoughts? You were, actively following the match in the jersey that you are wearing right now as well. So for the first 80 minutes, what was the emotion for a fan who was rooting for Argentina to win?
I mean, before the match even started, I kind of knew that this was going to be Messi's last actual great World Cup match. I mean, he would have gone to play the third place match, but this I thought that this was going to be his last World Cup match. But after the 80th minute, Messi actually became the playmaker, which he was not doing for the first 70 minutes. And when he started becoming the playmaker, he just gave in two great crosses in 15 minutes.
Hmm.
And I think, and a lot of people said that Messi could have done this earlier as well, but we are forgetting that he's 39 years old. He can't be the playmaker for 90 minutes.
There
Correct.
wasn't even enough space before that. England were pressing high. They were going man to man. Dean Anderson was on Messi always, like
Yeah.
not letting him
I mean,
breathe.
it is also kind of England's fault for parking the bus so early.
Absolutely.
Correct, correct. I also believe the same thing. I also want to ask one question because now, like, because we have spoken about the England versus Argentina game so much already, there has been a lot of talk about referees sort of siding with Argentina, and like them trying to, like, the FIFA is trying to make Argentina win. Because I know that you guys follow the sport actively, and like there have been nights that you have spent without sleep just to catch all the games. Is this something that is really happening, or is this all like a big social media propaganda? This is an open question. Happy for anyone to answer this.
I don't. I think there's been contentious decisions, but I think this whole Argentina, they're trying to push Messi to the final. I can't see it. I think big decisions. Obviously, you had the Egypt disallowed goal. I think it was harsh. It was harsh. It was a fantastic goal by Egypt. I think had it counted, it'd be one of the goals of the tournament. But I think there was a foul. It's not the sort of egregious what has happened. This is one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in football. So I don't think that was too much of one. And the Swiss red card as well. It was a dive. There was no contact. So I think it's a narrative, and I think there's, especially like you say about social media. I think so many people are the younger generation. They're either Ronaldo or they're Messi, and therefore anything that happens to Messi, therefore there has to have been some conspiracy and vice versa. So yeah, I think Argentina have got lucky. I think Argentina have got lucky with some refereeing decisions, but there's been nothing where I've thought something's really wrong here. It's just been slight mistakes that they've been the beneficiaries of.
Makes
Exactly.
sense.
That's what I feel like. Refereeing in tournaments like this haven't been consistent regularly. Like there have been decisions going in either team's way previously and historically as well. So this is just like they push on top of that the narrative they push again. So that's about it.
So, Arun, you run a media company in a way, and you are
Yeah.
technically engaging with a lot of people's opinions, because in the form of comments, in the form of direct messages. Have you seen a lot of comments about this particular thing, or was it like not really that big?
Yeah. The comments have been full of those. Like
Yeah, that's what.
there are a lot of Ronaldo fans in this world. So yeah,
No,
fair
that
on
makes
them.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Quickly moving to the France game, guys, the France versus Spain game, and I want to sort of start off with Lamine Yamal putting up 3 stories in the line, and like I know this because Arunav also happens to be a friend who sent that post to us, and then I'm watching and I'm just thinking that this guy is 19 years old. Uh,
Just turned
19.
19.
Yeah, like he is 19 years old and just turned 19, and he has the audacity to put things up on social media, the way he does, and then also makes like, and then also somehow Spain wins. So I want to ask you guys, do you think that it was just a lucky day that this worked out, or like Spain are just displaying a level that they have not displayed before? Anyone, Naman, maybe you can take this one to start off, and then we can move to Ross, and then Arun.
I mean, it's kind of both. Spain are actually playing really great, but I won't say that Lamine Yamal is playing really great. Spain as a team in general is playing amazing football with Pau Kubarsi and Kukurea great at defense. I
Yeah.
mean, I think they have only conceded one goal in the entire, in the World Cup, which is a crazy stat, and I don't think that any other team has achieved that in this World Cup.
Hmm.
So they are playing great football, but I also think that Lamine Yamal is kind of arrogant, but also something that I like because I think a similar kind of debate was going on when Messi and Ronaldo were in their prime, but Messi was not really vocal about how he was. I won't say better player, but he was also at par with Ronaldo.
Hmm.
Ronaldo kept saying, he still says in his YouTube videos and podcasts with Piers Morgan as well. So, but I think that's just the rivalry that he's trying to build up with Mbappe and Haaland and other players.
Okay. Fair point. Ross, your thoughts on Spain's form this year, and whether on specifically Lamine Yamal, your thoughts?
I was shocked. To be honest, the game absolutely shocked me. I think Spain have been professional. Spain have been really good, but I think and I've had this conversation with friends. If Spain win this World Cup, I look back at the 2010 Spain team, and I think Yamal, maybe Rodri, maybe Cucurella are the only ones you could say may have made it into the 2010. The 2010 Spain team. However, they're about to almost match their achievements of a World Cup on the back of a Euros win. And I think going into that game, I thought they've played Portugal. Portugal didn't really attack them enough. Obviously, Portugal were. I won't turn this into Ronaldo v Messi, but I think Portugal, there was way too much focus on Ronaldo. But yeah, so they didn't really attack them. Then they played Belgium, and it's not the golden era of Belgium. So I thought once they come up against France, they're facing the best attack in the world, and this is where your one goal conceded is going to come into it. But yeah, utterly incredible performance. I think Kukurea, I don't think he's going to get it. I think Kukurea should be in the conversation for one of the players of the tournament. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. But yeah, on Yamal, I really like to see it. I really like to see it. I think there's far too many footballers these days with no personality. You know what they're going to say in an interview before the interview even starts. So having someone like that, and he's a bit of an exciting throwback player. It's that like sort of the thrill of youth, being able to run at players, try different things. I mean, he's incredible. He's incredible during the last Euros, and it was my question was, right, is he gonna be one of these sort of flash in the pan players that appears at the age of 16 and is done by the age of 20 or something like that? But no, it doesn't appear so, and I think it's incredible. Tomorrow time for the World Cup final, it's going to be so interesting to see. Yeah, here's a country heading into potentially winning back-to-back major trophies, and a 19-year-old just turned 19 is key focus of that.
That's quite exciting and very comprehensive. Thanks for the great answer. I don't have your thoughts, because I think I have also seen that you have been following Lamin's journey from a very long time. I think even when he was not a part of the mainstream conversation and people were not really counting him in. So first of all, what gave it away in the initial years, and what do you think about his performance in this year's World Cup?
So let's start from the story, his Instagram stories. I think that's part of his personality, as Ross said, as part of his game. If he doesn't do that, he won't be able to perform that way. He feeds on the pressure and like everything like that. So yeah, if similar to Neymar, if the manager told him to like not be so flashy on the pitch and like, just play to the system, he won't be that great. So just let him be. That's what he does, and that's what he'll do for the years to come.
Nice.
And I think I first heard about Yamal, I think a couple of months before he made his debut for Barcelona at 15. So, and there were reports that there's this child in the B team. He has not even played in the B team. He was directly fast tracked from the C team, Barca C team, to the first team at the age of 15. And Javi called him for like he trained with the first team for like a month, and then he made his debut and he played. He could even had an assist on his debut. Like he was showing flashes in the first day. So you could always see there's something different about him.
The talent was always tough.
Talent was
sort
always
of ignore.
there, but with years, I think he became more consistent with time.
Nice. Makes sense, guys. Another question that I had about specifically Spain's lineup is that, we're not seeing a lot of Pedri. And like instead of Pedri, we are seeing Fabian Ruiz, because there have been certain reports where they're saying that I think he's coordinating better with Rodri. Your thoughts, Arunav, on this particular thing? Because like, do you think Pedri is the better choice, or whatever Spain is doing, let them do?
Fabian Ruiz has been working really well for Spain, I feel. And obviously, if you ask me who's the better player, I say Pedri. But I think the season was long and Pedri seems a lot exhausted on the pitch. The starting games I've been seeing him. And Fabian Ruiz offers 2-3 different dimensions to the game added to the Spain's quality. Like he can shoot from a long range, he can be physical, and like he can rotate the ball along with combining with Rodri, as you said.
Nice, makes sense. Naman, your thoughts?
If you still ask me who's the best midfielder in the world, I'll say Pedri. But
fair. I think you also sort of justified physical exhaustion is real, especially when you're playing World Cup games, where the pressure is so high and you need to constantly keep performing at your peak. So I think that's a totally understandable answer. But because I know, Naman, you are also kind of used to watching Pedri in Barcelona games, right? I'm right over there, guys. Yeah. So, are you missing him on the pitch? Do you want to see a lot more of him, or let Spain do what they're doing?
Yes, I am missing, and yes, I agree with Arnav that he is the better and in fact the best midfielder of the current times. But I mean, if he's not playing in sync with Rodri. So Spain should do exactly what they're doing. So they should play Fabian Ruiz. And yes, Pedri is obviously very much exhausted because he has played a very long season with Barcelona,
Hmm.
with like 3 to 4, you know, he has played La Liga, UCL, Super
Correct.
Copa, and Copa del Rey. I think he is pretty much exhausted.
Fair point, guys. So now that we have spoken so much, and I'm like more than 100% sure that all of you have your opinions, I also want to understand because I know for one, Arunav does trade a little bit of sports markets. Ross, have you sort of ever tried to trade your conviction, considering you have spent so much time watching the games, analyzing them, writing about them? Is that something that you have gotten around trading on sports?
Yeah, it's a really interesting way of doing it, and just trying to sort of see the next dimension. I think the England game, is one of the perfect examples of where, and it's so rare for this, but one team scored, and as soon as one team scored, it just felt like the next team is going to score. So yeah, looking at stuff like that, and I think that's going to be particularly interesting in the final as well. Is there going to be that moment where Argentina score and suddenly Spain have to do something totally different?
Correct.
They've just been behind for the first time. So how is that going to affect things? What's that going to do to the markets? How's that going to affect the prices? Also, if Spain take a lead, well, people think actually Argentina are underpriced now, so because they've just
Yeah.
come into it now. So yeah, that'll be really interesting. I think the flow of the game tomorrow is going to be so interesting. I think there'll be big movement.
Makes sense. Makes sense. What are your predictions for tonight's game, though? Like, let's say if you have to give us 2 or 3 predictions, things like both teams to score or which team to win, whatever you feel like, what would be that?
For tonight's game, I think it's going to be very interesting as well because this is Deschamps' last game,
Correct.
and I think Thomas Tuchel as well. Now, I think like the view in the UK is there's been a total flip on him from the English. I think there was interest in the tournament, but it's now he's being painted out as the sole villain. Yes, I think he made a big mistake, but I think there's more to it than that. But I think he's going to now have to change things. So whereas it may have been, I'll rotate my 11, it might now be, no, actually, I want to get a good result here. I want to show that I can go toe to toe. So I think you'll certainly see both teams score. I think in the race for the Golden Boot, I think Mbappe and Messi are level, but the tiebreaker of assists, I don't think Mbappe is going to get 5 assists tonight. So I think he's going to try and outscore Messi tonight. So I think you might see a slightly rotated France. So yeah, I think both teams will score. I think Mbappe is certainly going to get a goal or two if he plays. And I'd also be looking at the amount of bookings and yellow cards because I think it's going to be a really interesting game. It's going to be a fascinating watch. But realistically, it's a game none of those players wanted to be playing in. So I think you might start to see the frustrations. You might start to see. Kobe Mino is going to play maybe his first minutes at the World Cup, so he might come on, look for something like that. Similar with France, you may have Mateta coming on, and there's a sense of what would have happened if you had thrown me on for 20 minutes in the last game. So, yeah, I think a lot of players will be trying to prove a point. Might be a lot of big tackles, big hits, and a bit of I don't want to be playing this game, so I'm going to kick someone.
Okay, got it. I don't know. What are your predictions? Who do you think is taking tonight's game?
As I said, there's going to be a lot of rotation tonight for France and not particularly for England. And I'm really looking forward to see Ryan Cherky finally start a game because he's some different player. Like I don't know how France was not playing him, but it makes sense. They had a lot of quality up front, but they could somehow fit in him. So my picks for the night would be a double chance, France or draw. As Ross said, Mbappe to score because he's inevitable. And other than that, I don't think there's a clear pick for me as of right
For
now.
money line.
I'll need to see the lineups first.
Makes sense. No, I think
Yeah.
that's definitely something that you should do. So, Naman, why don't you maybe share your screen and like while you tell us about your predictions, I think we can trade your conviction right now and maybe also show Arunav and Ross what we have tried to build with DG3. So to start off, guys, basically DG3, think of it like not actually, it is a sports terminal, a smart, intelligent terminal, which is built on top of Polymarket. So if you guys already know of Polymarket, technically we are looking at the same markets that we see on Polymarket. but like we're trying to innovate, with things like an edge finder. So Aruna, for example, the plus 0.82 cents that you see, where game lines is written, is the edge, where the model is predicting that you're finding a good price that you should, kind of lock in for. And on the right side, you guys can see we are also putting up certain match performances, stats, head to head. Once the lineup is out, I don't know if maybe you can try checking it on DG3 tonight. But yeah,
Absolutely.
it will be out over here as well. A different dimension, but for esports, we are also streaming the matches live. So, like, constantly trying to build it as a one-stop shop where you just come, you find your intelligence, you find your automation, and you find your markets, all at the same place. So, we don't have a money line winner, Naman, but I think both of them believe that both teams to score is on. So maybe we can,
Yeah.
put $1 over there and see how it turns out.
All right.
I think, guys, the market also agrees with you.
Yeah.
$470,000 already traded on the market, and 70 cents, meaning that 70% conviction towards it happening rather than it not happening.
I think
So,
one thing that would be very interesting to see is the chances of it going to extra time, because I think historically these third, fourth playoffs never go to extra time because every single player on that pitch does not want to play in that game any
Yeah,
longer than 90 minutes they're there. So yeah, particularly ending in 90 minutes, or if a team is if it is a draw, heading into the end, I think there'll be a goal. I think there'll be a goal late.
So bold conviction, Ross. Do you think this game is going into extra time? I know that the odds don't really favor it. We can also see the market does not believe in it. Only 25 cents, over there. But do you think that we can probably see extra time today in the game?
No, I think there'll be. I think if it's even looking like there's extra time, I think there'll be a late goal. I think there'll be a late goal.
Okay, got it.
Very much one of those, and almost when
everyone
almost
wants to
like
go home.
yeah,
Got
or
it.
if a team's got a fairly comfortable lead, it's going to be, do you know what, you have it, you have the bronze medal.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Cool. Naman, I think we can come back and maybe we
All
will
right.
revisit the terminal again, in the next game. So, guys, lots of talk about, the World Cup in general, and also I think a lot of banter on the game that is happening tonight. Quickly want to move on to the game that is happening tomorrow, or 20th, because I sometimes get confused with the time zones. So on 20th, the finale. What are your bold predictions? And do you think it's going to be a goal fest where we will see a lot of goals coming in from both the teams, or do you think it's going to be slightly on the defensive side where both the teams will be trying to put pressure, from the defense? So I don't know your thoughts on what can we expect in the finals.
I personally feel like Spain will dominate a lot. Like they're very comfortable on the ball. As Naman said, the centre backs are very comfortable on the ball. Laporte and Kubarsi, they can rotate the ball very well. And Argentina are not going to press them man to man. They don't
Hmm.
have they don't do that generally.
Hmm.
So I think the centre backs, the full backs for Spain and Rodri will be key in penetrating the Argentine defense. And I personally feel Spain are slight favorites.
Spain are slight favorites, okay, and that is, I'm sure that like you had to put a rock on your heart while saying that, but it is what it is, and I
It is
appreciate the honest
exactly.
opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ross, your thoughts on who do you think is taking it?
I think it'll be Spain. But I think Spain will have a scare. So seeing what Argentina did against England, I think Spain would have seen that, and I think they would have been like, we're not going to try and fight them. We're going to try and keep the ball. We're going to try and frustrate them. So I could maybe see Spain. I think there's more. Obviously, there's more quality. There's more quality in the Spain team. So I could see Spain, and the way they've been playing, they've been dominating the ball. I think Argentina have got through by fighting. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter which country they were playing. It turned into a fight, turned into a battle. Whereas I think Spain, as they showed against France, you're the best attack in the world, but that's not going to bother us. We're just going to play our game. So I could see Spain dominating, potentially getting a lead of 1 or 2 goals. But that's when I think there's just something in the air with this Argentina team. Whether Messi rolls back the years, beats 8 players, whether there's an overload with, and like a chance comes to Lautaro Martinez, or Julian Alvarez. I think yes. I think Spain will get a lead. I think Argentina will score, and then I think that's when we may have 20 minutes, 30 minutes of just an incredible World Cup final. I think it'd be interesting as well to see if Spain have learned from the lessons of England, and that if Argentina do they then think, I mean, you'd like to think it would have been obvious for England to, the one thing not to do is give the best player that's ever played football loads of time and space. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Spain try to deal with that. But yeah, I think Spain will win, but I don't think it'll be the sort of smooth sailing, calm, collected victories they've had so far. I think Argentina will find a way to dig in, get a goal, and make it interesting.
Super interesting. Yeah, I think again that's a very comprehensive view because you did consider multiple factors weighing in, and you also feel that Spain is going to have a scare. So I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Considering how Arunav mentioned that we can see maybe some initial chances getting converted in the beginning of the game for Spain, and then maybe Argentina pulling back and Messi rolling back theirs. I think that was very
So if
beautifully
I
put.
had to put it simply, I would say like Spain are the best team at the World Cup and Argentina are the most difficult team to beat at the World Cup.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great way to put it. Naman, your thoughts on who is lifting the cup, and biases
Yeah,
aside, like both of our other friends have done, because they
yeah.
were both also, I'm sure, like Messi. But yeah.
All right, so biases aside, I believe that Spain are the favorites to win this match, as they have been playing great football this World Cup, and I
Hmm.
think the match won't be like a high press. I think Spain will try to suffocate Argentina instead of scoring like 4 to 5 goals. But there are three factors that make me not want to trade on money line
Hmm.
either on Spain or Argentina. The three factors are number one, that Argentina under pressure become a different kind of beast. We have seen in the past three matches of the World Cup against England, Switzerland, and Cabo Verde.
Hmm.
The second factor is that Messi has played 2 years of football in America.
Hmm.
That is a very big advantage for him. He knows all the pitches. I think he knows the pitches inside out because he has played MLS for 2 to 3 seasons now.
Hmm.
And the third factor is that the Argentine team will go to war with Messi, literally. Messi is literally their Optimus Prime. They will go to anywhere with Messi. They're ready to die for him.
Hmm.
So when that kind of passion comes to play for, let's say, your idol or your country, I
Hmm.
think that is a very difficult team to beat. Which
Hmm.
Arnav said that Argentina is the most difficult team to beat in this World Cup.
Interesting. Do you guys want to guess how much money has been traded on this particular market of who is taking the World Cup? Random guesses. Ross, any guess?
What currency do you want me to guess in? Would be the question. Lots in the millions. I'd imagine it's the biggest event in the world. So yeah, I imagine a lot. And there's so many different factors. So I think people will be looking at lots of different markets.
Okay. I don't know if your guess, any number if you had to quote.
Give me a range, man. I don't know.
No, I would just say aim for the moon so that you can land for the stars as well. Like just think of something similar on those lines if you can, tangential to that.
Probably
Like
in like 5 million, I think.
over 5 million. Naman, do you
Yeah.
want to break it to both Arunav and Ross?
Yeah, I think Arunav is just a bit off. It's actually $4 billion on the World Cup winner market.
Wow.
Guys,
Massive.
Yeah,
it is $4 billion like Naman mentioned, and it's kind of historic that such amounts are getting traded at the moment on the
So
World Cup.
this is all throughout the World Cup, right from the start, right?
yes, all throughout the World Cup from the
Oh,
start.
okay, okay,
Correct. But just for the World Cup winner market, Arunav,
okay.
Yeah,
from the start.
say 4.3 billion in volume.
Wow.
You don't really see these numbers for any other sport, and I think that is what, like when people say that football is the biggest sport in the world, I think that is the reason behind it. You just can't really beat it, and
Yeah.
people are definitely putting their money where their mouth is, and sort of backing the teams that they're passionate about. On this note, so based on all of you guys talking about who do you think is going to win the World Cup final, I think I was sort of able to form a very amateurish judgment of my own, and that was that while all three of you mentioned that Spain is the better team on paper, and we can't really beat that. I mean, you just talk about their team; they're all fantastic superstars. Naman, maybe can we put like a couple of dollars on Argentina winning the World Cup? Because Arnav also mentioned that this has been a World Cup of upsets, and like nothing is happening as per the way it should. Might as well want to try my luck on Argentina and Messi.
All right.
Retaining the title.
My view is going to flip if that game goes to extra time. And I've not got a lot of reason for the analysis. I think if that game goes into extra time, that's when I think Argentina. That's when I think there's something written in the stars, and that's where maybe it is the referees. That's when they may come into play. But I think if that game goes into extra time, that's when it's going to be Argentina.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to be Argentina.
Makes sense. Cool. So, guys, I think over there we wrap up, the main session about understanding and, sort of trading our opinions on both the matches that are coming up. Now, I just wanted to take some time and talk about, players in particular. So, Ross, to start off, who for you, maybe, who were the top three players for you this World Cup? No matter the team, no matter the position, any top three that you really enjoyed watching this year?
Well, I think I won't spend too long on Messi because I think we spoke about Messi. We spoke about Messi quite a lot, and I imagine we'll speak about Messi again. I think I touched upon it earlier. I think Cucurella has been he's just been absolutely fantastic for Spain. I know he's off to Real Madrid. Chelsea weren't great this season, but I think he was one of their better players. But yeah, this World Cup he's been incredible. I think potentially if the results had flipped the other way, Elise may have been my answer for this one. But the way Cucurella shut him down up and down the pitch, I think he's been absolutely fantastic. And I think he'll certainly be a huge part. And he's going to be up against Messi, Simeone, that sort of like the dog side of the fight over.
Yeah.
And I think the other one, and I'm very glad he's not playing in the final, but it's Jude Bellingham. I think Jude Bellingham's been absolutely brilliant. And I think you almost
correct
the reaction, his reaction against obviously not necessarily just smacking an Argentinian player on the back of the head after the end of the game, but I think you really saw his frustration coming out because I think he had almost, in a good way, bought into his fact that I'm going to win this World Cup. I was cheering on Norway when England were playing Norway, but his goals, it's particularly his first goal against Norway was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I think I think Bellingham. I think Bellingham's been brilliant. I think it's been one of the best, most complete World Cup midfield performances I've seen for a long time. He's scored goals, he's won tackles, he's created chances. I think he's been absolutely brilliant and justified why he's a Real Madrid superstar. Why there's probably no chance of seeing him in the Premier League because he's above that level. I think Bellingham's been brilliant. So yeah, Bellingham, Cucurella, and obviously Messi.
Nice. I think, thank you so much for your answer. And I would like to second the Jude Bellingham point. I think you don't really see David Beckham standing up on his feet and clapping for all the players playing, in that white uniform. But Jude was absolutely out of the world in this edition. And, so many occasions where the fans just randomly started singing Hey Jude, and you could see the man standing, right there, center of the pitch, absorbing it all, and sort of like, then displaying his passion and the way he played. Norway game, I think, is a great example, Ross, because I was not really able to understand out of these two who is going to score first. But Jude taking charge and the way he was moving across the pitch, I think that was quite phenomenal for sure. I don't know for you, who were the top three performances?
I think let's make this question the top two performances. One is obviously reserved for Messi. You don't need to talk more about that. Apart from that, I've been really impressed with Rodri at Spain. Personally, I feel he has been their best player, like most influential player on the team. Like he's been running the strings in the midfield. The control is there, everything. And he keeps everything in check. Whether that's a counter pressing, dropping deep to like create the game up ahead. So I think one is Rodri, and third I would feel Erling Haaland. He coming into the World Cup, nobody expected Norway to come this far, or Erling Haaland to perform on this level. Like he has shown some like different levels in this World Cup. I've been really impressed with the guy.
So do you think he was playing better than the way he plays when he plays for Man City under Pep? versus the way he played for his national team?
Not necessarily, but like he has been consistent for a long time. He has always been consistent, be it at Man City, be it at Norway. I think he has both the teams. He has more goals than games. Like he's a beast. So I don't think that.
I agree. And I think a lot of people share the same opinion like you do for Haaland. I mean, like Tom Holland was trying to get a dinner reservation with him, and the boy just did not respond at that time.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think the world loves him. He gained some 30 million
yeah,
followers in the span of the World Cup. 30 or 20, I'm
30,
not really
30.
sure. Yeah, and Wozenia, I mean, yeah, maybe let's come to him again. I think Naman maybe would like to talk about Cabo
Yeah,
Verde a little. But he really thought that they're going to make semifinals. He said it on stream one day.
yeah.
But yeah, Naman, the top players for you, and maybe maybe like a little love for Cabo Verde
I
at
mean,
the end.
top players, of course, Messi, because everyone said that. Jude has played a great season, and I think because England reaching the semi-finals, I think the most profitable to
Hmm.
non-sports people are actually Oasis and the Beatles.
Yeah,
But I also think
I
that
think Naman
Vozinia.
froze for a bit.
Am I
All
audible
good
now?
now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
So was my Oasis joke audible?
Sorry, man. It took off, but it never landed.
Never mind then. But yes, apart from them, Vozinia played a really great season. No one had expected like Cabo Verde to have an unbeaten season in 90 minutes. And they actually pulled off a draw against the finalists tomorrow. So, and I think the best performance in this World Cup is by Lamine Yamal's younger brother, Keen Yamal.
Yeah, it's great.
100%. I mean, the boy. So, guys, I was talking to a friend and he showed me a video where like Lamin's dad is holding Kane and Spain scores and he goes, "Vamos!" The question that I had was, how can a 3-year-old have this much rage inside of him to say "Vamos" like that and to make his face like that? Ross, have you been enjoying Lamin's brother and the memes that are getting created
Yeah,
around
it's
that?
great. It's great. There's always that. I think that's the fun thing about World Cups as well, is that there's always something. There's always characters. There's always moments. I think back to like South Africa World Cup, and also can think of the sound of the vuvuzelas. And then you've had these moments. I remember the forward roll long throw in, I think, from an Iranian player at the last World Cup. So you just had these funny moments. And yeah, his brother's brilliant. His brother's
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. Every time the cameras are going to him, it's making me laugh. And I'm enjoying, I know who he is. So it's a lot better because a lot of the time, a lot of the coverage, they're zooming in on these American athletes who I have absolutely no idea who they are. So yeah, I'm enjoying seeing him on the screen because I know who he is. And yeah, he's great. Great,
Nice.
good laugh.
Nice, nice. Got it. So, guys, the last thing, like we're sort of at at the end of the stream. Anything that I did not talk about, but you wanted to talk about the World Cup. So maybe we can start with Ross. We can go to Arunav, and then we can go to Naman. Any thoughts, any angle, any narrative that you wanted to discuss? That impressed you. So the floor is open, guys. Ross, over to you.
The thing I'm trying to get my head around is sort of where I rank this World Cup in total World Cups. I think on the pitch, this has been one of the best World Cups. One of the best World Cups I've ever seen. I think there's been massive matches, and like I said at the start, the top scorers. If you were to list some of the best players in the world, the top scorers. I think it's been fantastic. There's been big moments. There's been attacking football, which is nice to see as a viewer of the Premier League. I haven't seen a lot of attacking football. I've seen a lot of long throw-ins. I've seen a lot of fouling goalkeepers and holding shirts at corners and 15 minutes to dry a ball before you throw it in. So it's just been nice to see 3 or 4 weeks of let's let the best players in the world do that. But it's trying to position it with all of the stuff that this World Cup that I've sort of been scratching my head at. So the hydration breaks I found really difficult. The president of the host nation deciding that he wanted a player to play and that he didn't understand the rules. He
Yeah.
thought a red card might mean they're one player down. So it's like everything outside of it is the craziest thing in the world. So even in spite of all the madness that's going around it, I think for me, on the pitch, this is one of the best World Cups. I think for me, 2002 was one of the first World Cups I really like fell in love with and watched every minute of and stuff like that. But yeah, this is almost bringing me back to that stage. Where it ranks, is this one of the best World Cups of all time because the football's been brilliant? Is this one of the worst World Cups of all time because there's been political interference? There's always been these horrible stories about the Somalian referee, the way the Iran team has been treated, and things like that. So yes, it's hard to try and balance what's happening on the pitch with all of the craziness outside of it.
You're right, and I think that is where you sort of try to zoom out and you try to look at the sport for what it truly is, which is, I think, football as a sport, as a game. Even though there are a lot of rivalries that we see on the pitch, it is definitely one of those things that unites people. Even if you're rooting for different teams, at the end of the day, you're watching a common game, and I think that is the spirit of the game, where a lot of people come together, they support a team, and there is a lot of spirit in the actions that are taken around this entire sport. So it's definitely tough when you see, like I saw the Iranian players interview, and you could also, like, you don't really know what is happening behind the wraps. At this point, we only have so much visibility about what truly is happening. But when you see such things, it definitely does break your heart. And I think those are the moments where sport becomes kind of brutal. Even, like seeing I'm sure a lot of Ronaldo fans definitely had a lot of sleepless nights, and you kind of like would want to take a moment and empathize with them too, because they have loved Ronaldo maybe the way you guys love Messi. So I think very, very wholesome and very, very comprehensive World Cup at that. Same question to you, Arnav. Maybe compare it to your first World Cup watching memory, like Ross did, and how is it right now that you're watching it?
I absolutely agree with Ross. This has been probably the best World Cup, exactly how the stars have been performing. Like every big team is performing really well. All the top players in the world are topping the charts. The one thing which surprised me the most, I'll come back again to Messi, so bear with me. So, like, I did not expect him to top all the individual charts for Argentina as a team. Like at this age, no one was expecting that. He's been chilling off in MLS for like past 3-4 years. He has been living there as a retirement home, whatever. But he's at the top at the goal scoring chart, a top two in the assist chart, most dribbles, chances created, you name it, he's there. How is that possible? I'm trying to get my head around that. Yeah.
Nice. No, I fully understand that. Naman, for you, how was this World Cup? How was the last, like, as compared to maybe the last World Cup? What changed for you?
I mean, I'm happy with both because Argentina will be fine in both. But I think I want to talk about one thing about this World Cup, about how Portugal had a really fantastic team on paper. They had Nuno Mendes in defense. They had the UCL winning midfield and the
On top of
PL
that,
player of the
Bruno,
season as well.
yeah,
Like Bruno Fernandes, he was playing great for United, and of course with Cristiano to finish. So how did they like fail so bad? I want your opinions on this question. What went wrong for them after having such a great team on paper, with with the best finisher of all times, the best midfield, great defense? What went wrong for them?
I personally feel like they expected Ronaldo to be the main guy, and I respect that he has been their main goal scorer for ages. But to expect that him to be your main goal scorer in the tournament of this stage, there was like no one to score goals for Portugal. I feel that.
Hmm.
I personally feel that they have the
Ross?
best fullbacks in the world, best midfield in the world. They have Bruno
Hmm.
Fernandes on top of that. What else do you need?
Fair.
Yeah, I think it's maybe too simplistic, but I think Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo's a big reason why they didn't, because I think you saw. I don't think it was Uzbekistan. Their first game, it almost felt like, and it's felt like this for a while. Watching Portugal, there's almost this sort of unwritten, we need to get Ronaldo a goal.
Yeah.
Situations where these players would normally shoot, they're looking to cut it back to Ronaldo. You see his face when he doesn't get the ball. I think because at the start of the tournament, I thought Portugal were going to get the latter stages for the exact reasons you mentioned. You've got Vitinha, Vitinha, Neves, Bruno, unbelievable this season. I think take him out of Manchester United, and I don't think they're cracking the top half of the Premier League the way he played this season. But yeah, Ronaldo, he can't run, he can't press. Yes, he's a good finisher, but it's you're having to get him into those positions. I think Ramos isn't the best behind him, but there's certainly situations they could have done. Whether they do, Neto played as a striker quite a few times for Chelsea this season. Should have that. They've got Conceição, they had Rafa Leao, they've got all of these amazing players. Yeah, they're playing a player. I mean, I think for the same reason, if you'd have stuck Wayne Rooney up front instead of Harry Kane at this tournament, I think England wouldn't have got as far. And it almost felt like that. It's a player that really shouldn't be playing at this level. More dragging his team down. So I think he's the reason. He's still an absolutely brilliant finisher, but I don't think that alone is enough to carry you, and certainly not enough to justify you. Last 10 minutes, last 20 minutes, put him on, you'll score. He can jump higher than I've ever seen a footballer jump. He can kick the ball a million miles an hour. Use that for 10 minutes, use that for 15 minutes. Don't expect him to play 90 minutes.
That does make sense. It has been a while for Ronaldo, guys. I mean, like being the only player for Portugal who has scored for them in 6 consecutive World Cups, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I think there is a lot of pedigree and there is a trail of achievements that the man has left behind. But I fully agree with you, Ross. I mean, if we put Wayne Rooney instead of Harry Kane, I think we would have seen similar issues emerging for England as well, because Harry Kane scored 5 goals, and we can't be really sure and say that Rooney would be able to do the same at this age in this year's World Cup. So
Ronaldo's broken my heart on the international stage before in 2016 when he knocked out Wales and he scored a goal where I don't think I've ever seen a player jump that high. All the Welsh players interviewed after were saying we just let the cross go because we thought no one's going to head that. And I think it's a I've never been a massive Ronaldo fan. I've always respected how incredible he is as a footballer, but I think looking at the Cristiano Ronaldo that scored twice to eliminate Wales in 2016, watching him 10 years later, it's not the same. It's not the same, and it's just I think there's a level. I think he's got a mindset that I think if you asked him if he's going to play in the next 3 World Cups, I think he thinks he should be starting in them. But I think Portugal need a manager that's going to be brave enough to say no. Yeah, you might still be in the squad. You might be getting time here and there, but we're not building our golden generation around someone in their 40s who hasn't got it anymore.
Makes sense. That does make sense. So guys, thank you so much first of all. The one last thing that I would want to do is, Naman, maybe we can do one trade on behalf of both Ross and Arunav, but I want you guys to tell us a random, like something bizarre, something that is not so obvious prediction, a bold prediction, so to say, guys. So Ross, if you had to make one bold prediction, either for tonight's game or for the final, what would that be? And Naman, maybe you could talk a little about the markets that we are looking at the screen right now.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see about a red card being given in the final. I think there's a possibility. I think there's going to be so much more talk around refereeing, and Argentina are getting this favourable treatment from referees. Is there going to be a time now where you saw how fired up all of the Argentinians were? I think Enzo Fernandez had an absolutely brilliant game, but I think he was teetering on the edge. I think in other situations he's booked for that tackle on Anderson. But I think you might get. I think you could get a red card. In the game tomorrow. It doesn't normally happen in World Cup finals either, because I think there's the pressure of I don't want to send someone off in the biggest game in the world. And cast your mind back, you remember Nigel de Jong tried to murder Xabi Alonso in 2010, and I think that was a booking. So I think there could be a red card, and even maybe on the Spanish side, because if Argentina come out fighting, they've not experienced that yet. So could you get some frustration on the Spain side?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great pick, but unfortunately we don't have the cards market on this match.
I was also gonna bet on something like cards only, like on both the left backs of both the teams.
I
because
mean,
they were
we can
only
see
facing.
goals, assists, and exact scores as well.
Okay.
Any exact score prediction? I
Yeah,
think those ones are the toughest.
I'd go
Yeah.
for an exact score of 2-1 Argentina.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So, Aruna finally let the heart talk and take
All
over,
right.
and I appreciate that, man. That's all
Funny
right.
how the chances for that are 7%.
Oh damn.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's my lucky
So
number.
basically, you get Arunav. I think you get $12 on top of the one that we are placing for you right now.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ross, any exact score predictions? I know it's gonna be bold, but that is the name of the game right now.
Okay, I'll go 2-2.
Okay.
I'll go
Right.
2-2. I'll go 2-2.
At a 5% chance.
Crazy. Now these are the picks from experts, Naman.
Yeah.
I mean, awesome. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. So yeah, damn, I think I lost my script at this very last moment. Anyway, kidding, just kidding. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really, really great talking to you both. I think I did not talk about my emotions for the World Cup because honestly, those will be pretentious. but to sum it up, I think I was never a big football watcher, but this World Cup definitely instilled that emotion in me too, where I was staying up at 2:30, sometimes 4:30 in the morning watching games, and I kind of understood the point behind why you guys have such fandom around the sport. It definitely is very adrenaline pumping, and when I watched Argentina come back, in the England game, I think that was a moment where I was also like, I need to watch more football. So thank you so much for taking out the time tonight, and for coming with us, for trading, sharing your opinions with us, sharing stories with us. This was really, really good. And all the best to the team that you guys are supporting. I hope the best team wins. For all the people who are watching us live right now and the people who will be watching this video eventually, you guys can access the DG3 terminal at dg3.trade/terminal. I'm sure the team will also put a link to the terminal for you guys. So knock yourselves out, find a market, trade your convictions, and have a good day in general. So thank you so much and have a nice